guys, welcome to another video. So today, these canvases had been used for something else, such as watercolour, so I decided to gesso over them and to use them for an abstract piece. Just adding some light blue to get the abstract piece started. Now I'm adding some navy from the Folk Art Collection, really just to start and add layers to the abstract piece. Just blending in with the light blue and putting some around the edges to create depth. I'm now getting out my favourite tool, which is a Jane Davenport dabber bottle. This dabber bottle has blue ink and it creates a beautiful star-like pattern. I'm now getting out my navy/violet alcohol ink and just spotting that everywhere. Now getting out the rest of my alcohol inks and just really applying as much colour combination as I can to get it really colourful, bright and vibrant. My pink Vintage Patina. If you didn't know what a Vintage Patina ink was, it is a metal ink that you're meant to use on metal and wood and stuff like that, but it's a really good thing to add into your artwork as it is semi-gloss and stands out. Adding multiple colours of the Vintage Patina and different colours of the alcohol ink. Now just adding different shades of blue, things like that. Adding some orange spicks and dots and things like that. I'm really just playing with colour options and just squirting a bit here and there. This again is the squirter from Kmart in a neon pink. And I'm just squirting in like circles. I'm now getting a gold version out of that and just squirting that a bit here and there. Adding some water just to activate the ink. I'm now getting out my Jane Davenport inks. These inks are really bright and they smell as well, which are really good. So I'm just dropping a bit of colour here and there throughout the three canvases. So I'm just adding some water here and there to make drips on the canvas and to make it all dripply down. And I'm just adding some Dylusions white ink and just building up that white ink and just applying some little spicks and flicks, things like that. I really love this ink for adding little white spots and detail. Now I'm getting the pink ink again and I'm just dribbling it on the top just so it runs down nicely. As we can see. Just doing the same on the other canvases just to make sure they're matching and have the same colour scheme. It is quite hard to work on three canvases and to get them all looking the same and have the same colour scheme. Anyway, I am just adding some more of that Kmart spray that I love in a swirly motion. Now I'm just adding some more alcohol ink / Vintage Patina and getting some acrylic paint out now. Just putting some on my finger and just dotting some yellow around the page. I love contrasting colours, so as you can see, there's navies and there's pinks, whereas yellow is the opposite to navy, so that contrasts with it and makes it pop. like I was saying before, it is quite hard working on all canvases at once and to try and make them look not too similar but have detail but not be completely different. So I just added some blue and purple Kmart sprays. They come in like a 5-pack of all different neon colours. Now I'm just adding some Jane Davenport paint pen to the canvases just to add little dots here and there. Really just building up layers and layers of lines, dots, and stamps and inks and gesso and paint and all the things. So this was the ones close up, and they're not finished yet, but I did want to show you what they looked like. So I'm just getting out that white again, building it up because it does fade into the ink and it kind of doesn't appear. So I just build that up here and there. And now again, I am getting out my finished patinas to really layer that effect. And now just adding some blue ink, some pink ink, just here and there to make pieces more bright and just letting that drip. Getting a different white out now. This white is more opaque and staining rather than the dilutions and gets everywhere. My floor will never be the same because it has paint everywhere. So I suggest doing this outside because, trust me, it gets paint everywhere. Just adding some blue of that paint pen again and just dribbling and dabbling that ink. Now, my favourite supply, I decided to squirt some on this time to get a different effect, to get like a white, and I don't know, I did not really like that because it did make everything pretty dull, and you know me, I don't like dull art personally and I find it quite uninspiring, but that's just me and my personality, so I like bright, and that white kind of made it look dull, so I did want to spruce that up a bit by adding some bright white to make the background pop. Now just adding some more alcohol ink in that violet blue colour, which I love adding as it gives the most sprinkles of all my alcohol inks. Adding more ink. This seemed to be a very inky process where I just kept repeating the same. Really like white, spray, finished patinas, alcohol ink, and then ink. Anyway, I'm now just dabbing some muddy colours up because when you work with a variety of colours, they all seem to go together and blend, and it gets kind of gross and muddy sometimes. Now just getting out my ink and my stamp pad, which I love is a finished writing stamp pad, and I'm just putting some little writing here and there, and I love this stamp because it looks like you've written on your art, and I'm not a really person for writing my art, but I really like this stamp because it has the look of it. I now thought, I'll add some pink around their sides, but that didn't really work because the canvas is not really a paper. It didn't really work, so I decided to just pack that up and stop trying. Plus, I was getting gesso on my stamping pad, so I now got my favourite watercolours, the Jane Davenport watercolours, and just added a bit of colour here and there to some dull spots. And it just adds some pinks and reds and colours that contrasted with the three canvases. Now I'm just getting out some colour sticks from the Jane Davenport range. It seems to be all about the Jane Davenport range, but I really like them for adding little touches of colour. And here again, I am now putting finished patinas on my work again. I wanted it to be really dotty, and when you put finished patinas and alcohol ink as well as ink, they kind of all connect, and it has this cool effect that you might see in the middle canvas in the middle of that. See how it all spreads out? Very pretty. Getting the orange ink now, just to add a really contrasting colour that I wouldn't usually put with navy because that makes mud. And there's so much mud going on in this picture that needs wiping up, but that's okay. I decided to take a leap of faith here using the dark green of the alcohol ink that I don't really want, but I decided to add a bit of that here and there. Now I'm just getting out my gesso and just stamping little white patches with my finger. Now here's where I took the leap of faith. I decided to get my palette knives out, which I love palette knives. They're such a cool tool that can be used in so many different ways. And I got my yellow, popped it on my bench, and decided to put it on all three canvases around the border. Now I actually really liked this at the end. I'm not sure if you would, but I really liked how it mixed with the paint and the ink, and it made me feel really nice putting it on, and very artistic. So I just putting that all around the border as like to really connect all the pieces, as before they kind of wouldn't really go together if you were to take them apart. So I decided to add this yellow around so it looked like it was one whole piece rather than three canvases. I really love palette knives because that's the definition of artist for me. Palette knives and paint. Oh, I love that. So I just added yellow all around the edges and just scooping up that last bits of paint, adding some in the three canvases but not too much. And yeah, I've done this technique lots before, and I've used some gesso here just to kind of mix and make the different shades of yellow and to not make it so bright. I know this sounds ridiculous coming from me, but I really like the mixture between white and the yellow rather than the yellow by itself. And I think by adding this yellow, it actually made the artwork look better because it just made you focus on the colourful bit and not on the edges. And I like this bit because it just worked, the border just worked. So I'm now just getting that acrylic spray out again that I love and just going in a swirly motion, creating a great mess on my art desk that I'm going to have to scrub. And now just letting that dry. Here's a little close up. And now that it's dry, the next morning really, I showed you all the pictures. They kind of stuck together and I loved all the layers, but I thought it really needed some more oomph. And so I decided to add a bit more pieces here and there. I'm getting my trusty gesso out. I love this brand. Some brands of gesso are very shiny and clingy and sticky, but I really like this brand. It's very matte and I like that a lot. Now I'm just adding some white here and there. And because I saw a bunch of flowers, so I kind of just blocked out the background a little bit with a really light gesso, just to make the flowers more pop. It is abstract. Tell me if you see flower bunches, because I did, and I really wanted to include that in the artwork. Now I'm just getting my trusty watercolours out. I had to actually open a new packet the other day, and I'm just putting some drips on that gesso just to make the flower bunches kind of drip down and look very abstract. now just gonna add that to the rest of the canvases by just adding a bit of watercolor and then just spraying that with some water. Tell me what was your favourite part of this video and what you think the end result looks like. I think it looks like a flower bunch, abstract flower bunch obviously, but I interpret it that way, and it would be so interesting to see how you interpret my art, because I feel everyone interprets art differently, and artists love to hear that because so many people have different ideas. I'm just adding that white again just to really finish it off, and now that it's dry it won't mix into the ink. I got a bit excited and started splashing away here and there and got very enthusiastic with my splashing. Now I'm just adding some final layers of finished patinas and alcohol ink just to finish it up really, because of all that alcohol ink had blended in with those other layers. And this was the finished result. I really love this process, and I really had fun working on 3 different canvases all at once. Oh wait, it's not finished. So I must have decided to add mermaid markers just to give it a really pop of pink to the work, and yeah. And then added some spots of green just to make it look more of like a flowery bunch. Some blue, and I love these markers because you just dot them and it just adds another layer, which I love. And I actually think this looks very galaxy. What do you think? Tell me in the comments. Okay, I think we're finished now. Thank you so much for being a part of this video. I really hope you enjoyed it. Bye!